Found a quiet space, and you can hear me a little bit better than my other space. So welcome back, and I'm glad. I think her name is Claire. Starts with a C. I'm really bad with names, but it probably doesn't help that I don't have my laptop open, so I can look at my web page and accurately recite people's names that I'm responding to. But I think her name was Claire, and she wished me luck on my interview. I don't remember saying I had an interview. I think I was hoping to get one, and it still may be possible. But as you can see, I'm letting you stare into something that's not too discernible. It's because I do think that my story is unique enough and precarious enough that I need to protect my neighborhood, protect myself from people knowing where I live, and anyways, so that's why videos are sometimes are a little bit hard to make. Is finding a place to do them. Yeah, trying to find something to talk about every day is kind of a challenge, especially when you take a break for about 10 days. You kind of lose your momentum, but I still think my credibility is increasing. I think my story is still gaining traction. Just because I can't do it absolutely every single day does not mean that something's up. Still playing my drums. I played a gig at a restaurant. And it went well. What else? Last time I was talking about leaving San Diego. I did get a response from somebody saying good riddance. I suppose that person could be one of the roommates that lived there that also happened to be transgendered and fairly unfriendly and disrespectful towards me. A younger transitioner, not as young as I was when I started my transition, but younger by me by 10 years currently. I started my transition about 13 years ago, 12 years ago. So I don't know what to talk about today. I'd like to continue on my conversations from previous videos, because it always tends to build, and because I think my story has some traction, credibility. I think I can always blossom out by discussing what I currently or what I previously discussed with you. I'm not getting any questions. There's no dialogue that's happening other than the naysayers that are coming out and trying to contaminate, if you will, the discussion with things like, I'm crazy, I need to accept my womanhood, I need to go see a mental health professional. Those are all just stuff that's in the way of discussing the real issue of the evidence that I put forward. Not one person has said why it doesn't add up. One lady, Nikki, I think's her name, from the UK, said you bought a book on embalming, but I don't know if that's going to help you, because embalming a dead body is different from in vivo embalment, which is embalming tissue in a live body. I believe it's different primarily because the strength of the embalming fluid has to be different, because a person that's given the same embalming fluid that you would use to embalm a body, a dead body, would definitely die immediately from that exposure. I feel I do I do believe that I would have died had I not stopped taking a particular medicine while I was in Thailand during the peak of the complications. So I don't know if maybe that has anything to any substance in this whole story, but the fact is I didn't die, or I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. But I'm so glad that somebody decided to say something nice to me in the middle of so many negative comments. So but we were talking about, last time we were talking about Dr. Soup Porn. I think this is probably 10 days ago, I mentioned Dr. Soup Porn. Mind's wandering again. I really need to write these things down. I wanted to talk about Dr. Soup Porn and I think I was asking what was his ultimate goal, and I think I started alluding to the fact that the situation is unique in that only Dr. Soup Porn and myself are the key parties to this this deal, if you will, between sanity and insanity, between transition and being a laughingstock. This deal between a person who's disrespected a doctor and the rest of the transgender community. I want to discuss that possibility, that or the importance of that in relation to is Dr. Soup Porn trying to send another message? Is it possible that this condition, this medical condition he's put me in, is a progressively worse condition that forces the recipient or the victim of that condition to become more urgent, more in immediate need of, more desperate to get help? And how long will that person continue on trying to get help in the absence of it? So here it is, 4 years, and it's really hard to believe that I can, or that someone can, withstand the toxicity, the deterioration for 4 years. It's not been easy. Formaldehyde is something that is a doctor's worst nightmare. I've talked about the blepharoplasty case in Illinois in the 90s in Chicago. Butterman, Dr. Butterman case. I think that was his name. I could be wrong. But you can look it up. Blepharoplasty, formaldehyde. Formalin, I believe, was the substance, which is formaldehyde. It's a buffered formaldehyde, meaning it's diluted. It's diluted in a aqueous solution, and it's water soluble. And I believe because of the ongoing toxicity spreading, based on what I feel is happening in my groin, that that whatever I was injected with on day 9 post-op by Dr. Suporn is oil-based, is not formalin, but is some sort of tissue preservative. And going back to this Dr. Butterman in Chicago, Illinois, this blepharoplasty case. Blepharoplasty is an eyelid case where people get Botox injected to change the looks of their forehead, eyebrows, or something. Blepharoplasty is more eyelids, so they were injecting something into her eyelids, supposed to be maybe Botox or something, and it turned out to be formalin. And it was because the nurse made a mistake and confused, or maybe intentionally, who knows, formalin for Botox. And the lady was subjected to this before they surgically removed the toxic tissue. She was left to try to. It was 8 months between the injection and the actual operation to remove the toxic tissue. So I think in the literature says that the doctor was trying to I'm sorry if it's hard for you to listen to me, not really speaking fluently or clearly, but I'm just going from memory. But what was I saying? Oh, the doctor said that they wanted to see how the person would heal, if the person was going to heal, and that's sort of may have been another reason. But they waited. The key is they waited 8 months, and they knew what they had done. I find that very disturbing. Formaldehyde, formalin, is a hazardous chemical. It should never be injected into a human being that's alive. There's another case. There are other cases out there. I won't recite them. And it always has to do with a nurse or an intern that is mixing up samples and fluids in jars with other fluids within a operating setting. So this is, in my case, it's day 9 post-op. It's 9 days after the surgery. I guess that's a difference. But at 4 years, I feel the toxicity continuing to spread. And I'm asking myself, what is Dr. Suporn's agenda? I mean, how long is he going to let me suffer and not come forward? And do we know enough about Thailand to know what is his ultimate responsibility as a doctor in Thailand, who may, according to his account, according to his analysis, reading my emails without my permission, without my knowledge, reading my emails, taking them out of context or not understanding the context, or at least assuming a context without discussing it with the parties involved in that conversation. Taking that and doing some analysis on that and deciding that that's a reason to sabotage a sex change. So Sometimes I lose track of what I'm saying because people are walking by, but you'll just have to bear with me. I may run out of battery power, but it's 4 years, and I'm starting, judging by the responses and the views, I'm starting to get people interested, and I think it has to do with my daily videos. You know, I'm a live person. I'm not hiding behind an alias. I'm transgendered. I am credible, and I think it's just going to get worse for Dr. Souphorn and for the naysayers as time goes on, and I have to continue making these videos. So yeah, I was saying that formaldehyde is a doctor's worst enemy, a person exposed to formaldehyde. I pointed out that Dr. Butterman in Chicago waited, I think it was 5 to 8 months really, but to wait any amount of time before you removed toxic tissue is disturbing. I believe that Dr. Souphorn, not Dr. Butterman, but Dr. Souphorn knew what he was doing, knew that he was putting me in a condition that A, would be hard for me to get help, B, would be very painful for me, C, would be irreversible, would immediately kill the tissue beyond repair, and D, would be an ongoing sort of suffering for me every day, every second of every day, every time I sit down, every time I move, every time I get up in the morning. I'm reminded of Dr. Souphorn and what he's about, and how he might read some of my emails and see me as a disrespectful person. So if I don't get help, I mean, it doesn't mean that I haven't been successful in making these videos. The videos are also to warn other people, other transgender people primarily, that Thailand is not a safe place for you to carry on in your natural Western ways, that you have to become aware of the possibilities that exist there. I told a transgender person that Dr. Souphorn is the best or one of the best sex change surgeons in the world, and I based it on my own sensitivity at day 8 post-op. But at the same time, I can't say that I think he should be a doctor. I mean, at the same time, I can say that he should not be a doctor. I think I said that. Anyways, I think you know what I'm saying. The double negative there. At the same time, I can't say that he should be a doctor. I guess that sounds better. More syntactically correct. So we need to acknowledge that this is not a botched surgery, as one person commented today. It's not a botched surgery. This is surgery sabotage. This is intentional harm, and I think the videos show that. The history of this doctor, the record this doctor has, shows that. You know, the question of whether there's other patients out there that have been subjected to this kind of treatment by Dr. Souphorn is still a possibility. I I've put the question forward. Has a transgender person been to Dr. Suporn and committed suicide after the surgery? Maybe during the complications, maybe months after the complications, maybe years. I can tell you it's a very hopeless feeling to go through life day in and day out and not get help. Yeah, someone walked by and not get help from anyone. It's my friend in San Diego, the one that I addressed in my previous email, and kind of alluded to the possibility that she didn't want to have anything to do with my story once she started getting more knowledge about it. It's just another fact that points to that my condition is something that no one wants to deal with, and I think right now what we're seeing is as I make assumptions, as I forecast how people are going to behave in regards to my medical condition, it seems to manifest itself. People tend to think that she's already proven that this doctor hurt her, and she wants to give people a chance not to become involved unless they really want to. Then maybe I shouldn't get involved. So I know I wanted to say something there. I didn't like the choice of words I used in that. So I'll let you go. I hope to have a job soon. Yeah. Bye.